Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to be making some fall trees. Now with your Thanksgiving project art packet, you're going to find your materials. So we're going to be using a paper bag and we're going to be using tissue paper. So you're just going to flip your packet over and carefully take off your paper bag, and you can put the rest of your papers to the side for another Thanksgiving project next week. Inside our bag, you're gonna find the rest of our materials. So your bag should have some different fall colored tissue paper. So reds, oranges, yellows, maybe even some pinks in there. So you should check that your bag is empty and you got all of your paper out. You can put your paper to the side. You're also going to need some scissors and some glue today. We're going to transform our paper bag into our tree, and then we're going to use all of our fall colored tissue paper as our tree's beautiful leaves. What we're going to do is we're going to start with our paper bag laying flat, so this bottom flap is facing us. I'm going to grab my scissor, and we're going to start by cutting some strips out of our paper bag, and we're just going to cut up to this line, but we don't want to touch it. So starting at one end, I am going to start to cut, going close to that line but not touching it. And I'm going to do this all the way down my bag. I'm making my strips kind of like a finger width, so it's about the size of my finger. I wouldn't make them any smaller than that, because then you're going to end up with a lot of branches and it might get tricky to have them all fit on our tree. You definitely want to be able to cut a bunch out of here, so you don't want them to be too big where you won't have any branches. So I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces here to make up my tree, which I think will be good. Might even be able to cut this last one in half. Let's see. It's going to be really skinny. And again, I'm cutting close to this flap edge, but I'm not cutting past it. I don't want to cut that flap. Once you have all of your strips cut, we're going to turn our bag and open it up. And it might be tricky to open it because you have all of those cut pieces, but you just want to try and open it up at the bottom so it stands like a regular bag does. Now we're making a sculpture of a tree, so that means it is going to be three-dimensional. You'll be able to see it from all the different sides. So we need our tree to be able to stand on its own, which is why I open the bag so it's flat on the bottom. Now I'm going to grab my bag where all of those lines end from my cut marks, and I'm going to squeeze it together and pinch it, because this is going to be the trunk of our tree. And once I got it nice and squeezed together there, I can start to twist my bag at that point, so I can make the big trunk of my tree. And now we want to make sure that our tree is still going to stand, so you can check on it and make sure it still stands up on its own, and you can twist and crumple the bottom to adjust it so it stays flat. We want that bottom to be flat so that it can stand up on its own. So I just twisted it and I checked to make sure the bottom stayed flat. So now I have my tree that can stand on its own. I have my big trunk at the bottom, and it's time to make the branches. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to pull out these strips that I cut. And one at a time, I am just going to twist my strips by wrapping them around and around and around and squeezing and crumpling to make my tree branches. Just like that. And I'm going to do this to all of my strips. So this is why we didn't want to cut too many strips, because you'll be sitting here forever twisting your branches. All right, so they're going to start to look like that. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to twist all of my strips that I cut into branches. Once you're done twisting all of your little strips of paper, you should end up with something that is looking like a bare tree. Now you can twist and turn your branches even more to place them in areas that you like. Maybe you have too many facing the same direction and you want to twist and turn some or bend them different directions so that your tree looks a little bit different. You can do that. You can keep playing with this and bending it, and it will try and hold its form in the way that you would like it. I also retwisted the bottom of my tree, again a little tighter, just to help keep all of it together. Again, making sure that it can still stand on that flat bottom that we made. So that is what my tree looks like, all finished. I want to add some leaves to it though, so I have all of my different colored pieces of tissue paper here that I can glue onto some of the branches to make more of a fall bright tree with our leaves that have changed color. So I'm just going to take one piece of tissue paper at a time. They might be a little stuck together from when I cut them, so you might have to peel them apart. And I am just going to crinkle it gently in my fingers, and then I will add some glue and just place them on parts of my branches. So with my glue stick, I am just going to place a little bit of glue on my tissue paper, being careful not to get it on my fingers. And I can just find a branch and stick it right on there. You can also use wet glue to do this, but you only want to use a very small amount so that your branches don't get too heavy and start to fall. And you don't want your tissue paper starting to fall off because it's too wet. So I crinkled up another piece, and I'm just going to place these in all different spots around my branches. Now you can also place some around the base of your tree to look like those were leaves that fell. So I can take this red piece and place it down at the trunk, and it's going to look like some of my leaves have fallen off the tree onto the ground, which will look cool too. So you can go in and place your leaves wherever you would like on your tree, just by crumpling them up and sticking them down. And that is my fall tree sculpture all finished. So I made sure to turn my sculpture as I was gluing on those leaves. So I was able to add those colorful leaves on all the different sides. Like we said, a sculpture can be seen from every angle, from all of the different sides. So you want to make sure you're not just sticking all of your leaves on one half, but around the entire tree. So this is what my tree looked like when I was finished. And I can save all of this tissue paper for another project or throw it away. You do not have to use all of your tissue paper to fill up your tree. You can just use however much you think looks best for what you have made. Once you're done, take a photo or video of your finished tree sculpture and submit it on our Canvas page. I can't wait to see the beautiful fall trees you guys have made. I hope you had fun with our fall themed sculpture project. Try your best, have fun, and get creative. I'll see you soon. Bye!